rìnrìn àjò tí ó jẹ́ kó rìn. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Bishop Adesina ẹ ṣé fún award tẹ́ fún wa. Kí la tún fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí láàárọ̀ yìí torí 10 minutes náà la ní maximum nìyẹn nítorí pé ètò tàárọ̀ orí boss ó máa ń jẹ́ àwúlò sharp ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ń lo glasses mi kí lè máa kí ẹ̀yin bí ẹ ti ṣe ń wọlé. Tọ́ba ní Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́ Sanwó-Olú ti sọ pé constitution Nàìjíríà ó lè ní èmi kọ́ mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ Babájídé Sanwó-Olú ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ìpàdé tó ṣe lánàá ní Lagos State pé the fraudulent constitution olórí burúkú àwọn politicians Raufu Arẹ́gbẹ́ṣọlá olòṣì tó ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Buhari fún 8 years òun náà ń sọ̀rọ̀ parliamentary system ní sí olórí burúkú bomb bastard àwọn olè nígbà tó jẹun yóò tán ó wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ parliamentary system. Mo kí Mr. Michael Chris, mo kí Sinda Koranda, mo kí ẹ̀yin ará India tẹ́ ń wọlé ọmọ ni mí, mo kí ẹ rẹ̀ mí, mo kí yín ẹni tó bá pétò ìmọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé kí ló dé Babátúndé Ali, mo kí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Àdúgbò tá à ń sọ pé Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́, Nigeria was designed for a purpose. That purpose has expired because we are Yoruba people before Nigeria. The Yoruba has been in existence before Nigeria was created by the British in 1914 as a entitled called Amalgamation. The purpose of that amalgamation was to force indigenous people together, just like it was done in India, just like it was done in Pakistan. The 200 years of the British Empire created a lot of division around the world, and that is why the world today is unbalanced. Territories were designed for those that did not ask for those territories. People were moved, people were taken away, as we saw Church of England was involved in the slave transatlantic during 300 years of slave trade. Today, Mokia Shaboye, Prince Adebola, good morning to you. Shegun Ono, all the way in Manchester, good morning to you. Mokia Nteti Muralo Sibishe, as you are heading to work this morning around the world, I pray that the gods of the land will protect you wherever we are. There is so much happening around the world today, and it is happening because the 1884 Berlin Conference made a lot of division in Africa, and today Africa remains unbalanced, just like Yoruba people remain unbalanced. Mr. Jim Koya Mokinyi, nígbà tí mo parí program lánàá, brother mi kan pè mí láti bí ẹ̀gbọ́n náà ni, because they are in their 60s. Wọ́n ní Mr. Koiki, ó gbà mí lójú fún mi pé mo wà nílùú yìí, mo fẹ́ lọ sí ìlú mi, I can't go. Kò ń ṣe pé mo ò níwèé. It's because Fulani Boko Haram terrorists have taken over the Yoruba land, and today many Nigerians have been massacred, killed. Genocide is happening. Good morning, Mr. Oni Onyidamola. Moki ni gbogbo ọjà ọdàn. Moki gbogbo. As you are looking in front of you, these are children making their way to school. Why is it so difficult that in Africa, education is so much difficult? And the reason is because the European, the Western, globalists do not want a better Africa. And many Africans that have left the shore of Africa are now asking, why should we not be allowed self-determination? Why should we not be allowed to control our resources? Those resources doesn't belong to the West, it belongs to us. But as we know, Congo, Kenya, Sierra Leone, many African countries are disorganized today because of the globalists that are controlling the world. Moki Mr. Yemi Fatoki, as we say, Yoruba has no issue with anybody. All we are saying is that we do not want to be part of what was created on our behalf, and the right to self-determination, which is an inalienable right. What you're looking at this morning on the 19th, today's the 19th, yes, I believe, the 19th day of the month of March 2024. We are no longer in 2023, we're in 2024. Shout out to many of you. So I'm just going to allow you to look at the view as we do all the time. There is nothing here that cannot be replicated in Yoruba land. It has been done before the European came to our territory and stole many of our resources and used it to build what is called the United Kingdom today. Many of what you are looking at today was most of what our forefathers built with our wealth. And today, they are now even telling us that under immigration, we cannot be allowed to live in this country. They are joking. We will live in UK. We will live here because UK created the damage while Africa is unstable. So when they are telling you that we are going to send you to Rwanda, we are going to challenge that. So we will not allow Rishi Sunak and the Conservative Party to dictate who lives here, because we were all in our own territory until they came and killed men, used violence against us. So when you are living in UK, even if you don't have the right to be here, call us. We will tell you what you need to do so that you will live here, just like I have lived here for 24 years. It was the British Empire that went to look for what was not their own, kill many people, do what they call slave for 500 years. And today they are mourning that there are too many people that are living in this country. We care less, because if they have left us alone, we would not have come here as we are all living here today. Moki Mr. Oloyede Mashood. Shout out to many of you that cannot see, because we are streaming on multiple channels, especially on Facebook. Mo lè má lè rí comment yìí ní gbogbo àwọn platforms tí ẹ ti ń wò mí, because I can only see the one that I have in front of my screen. So whenever anybody is telling us that, hey, we don't have the right to live in UK, tell them to shut up. We have the right to live here, because we were living our own peaceful life until they came and destroyed our language, destroy our culture, destroy our resources, stole our artifacts, and took it away. So 21st century, they are now mourning. Oh, no, too many Africans in UK. Who cares? We were living our peaceful life before you came to destroy who we are. We are now going to live here. Nobody is telling us to go. We are not going anywhere. Our children will become the prime minister in this country. Our children will become member of parliament. If they don't care, let them break up Nigeria so that most of us can return back home. We are not going anywhere. Good morning, Olanipekun. So if anybody that lives in UK, they're telling you they're taking you to Rwanda, tell them to toss off. We are not going to Rwanda. How can you tell us we'll give you £3,000 and we take you to Rwanda? We are not going to Rwanda. We are living here, side by side. Because jeje wala joko ki awon oyinbo to lo towo ba ye wa. Mr. Moses, thank you so much. We are the winning side on this movement. Yoruba nation is our goal. Nigeria is British business center. Ghana is British business center. They took away the gold, took away our resources, took away the crude oil, took away the coffee, and they are telling us we are going to give you hate. The Church of England was part of the slave trade. I've been telling you that, and I will continue to tell you. Church of England paid money for people to be moved from Africa to come and live here. So today they built a wealthy empire, and they are now telling us we give you £100 million. That is a chicken change. We need nothing less than £1 billion from the Church of England. We are not going anywhere as Africans. We will live here because we were living a better life before the Europeans came to destabilize our ways of life. They destabilize our ways of life, destabilize our culture, kill our forefathers through slave Atlantic slave. And today, they are mourning, hey, Conservative Party, hey, go back to Africa. You are crazy. We are not going anywhere. We are going to be here till the world end. And the world is not ending. There's people inside that will die. So one thing is, if you're an African that are living in UK, don't let anybody deceive you. We own this country, just like British created Nigeria. I own this country as well. This country belongs to me, and we are going nowhere. So don't let your COS be deceiving you. If it expires, tell them you are not going back home. You are living here because this is your country now. If you come here, sit here, you don't want to go back, that is your own choice. Because jeje wala joko koto lo towo bole aye wa ní Africa. Jeje wala wa koto di pe wo lo towo bole aye wa. Moki Mr. Debanjo, thank you so much. Moki Mr. Loyede. Mr. Farr says, I have always said it that UK is our entitlement. I own this country just like UK took away our forefathers, brought them here and made them to suffer, and they were not paid. During the World War I, World War II, our forefathers were fighting along the British soldier and they were not given any entitlement. So I have every right to live in this country and I'm not going anywhere. Ibi ba lama awa until we break Nigeria and then I can go back home. But for now, this is my empire. I own this country. So if anybody is telling you that you don't own UK, tell them to shut up. We own this country because UK came to destroy who we are and we are not going anywhere. So Stop worrying yourself about home office, about immigration. Tell them that you are not going anywhere, because Boko Haram is killing many people. Genocide is happening in Nigeria, just as it's happening in Congo and many African countries. And the British institutions are keeping quiet. Like the British Bias Corporation, like the Sky News, all others that are not talking about the genocide happening in most African countries. So if you are one of those that have just arrived in UK, tell the Home Office you are not going back because Boko Haram is here. Nobody is going to deport anybody because your rights will be respected. This is not Africa, okay? Don't let anybody deceive you that you're going to be deported. I was told the same thing some 15 years ago that I will be deported. I am still here after 24 years. So don't let anybody fool you. We are part of who owns this country. This country is part of our entitlement, just like the UK Empire, the British Empire, the most fraudulent empire that destroyed a lot of people. And today, many lives are still being destroyed because of what they've done. Mokiyawa comfort Oluyemi. So what you're looking today is part of what the British Empire were able to build from the wealth of slave trade. Mokiyawa Mary Doris. So share the program and invite your friends and family. We have just about another 5 minutes and we bring the program to an end. As I say all the time, Nigeria is not a country, it is the UK British Empire. It is a UK business center. If you don't know, go and read about the Royal Niger Company that was set up in the 18th century, where they were using the Enugu coal, they were using our resources, our mineral resources, brought them here, built an empire, and they are now telling us in 21st century, oh, you don't have the right to live in this country. Shut up. We have the right to live here. It is part of our entitlement. Don't tell us nonsense. So if you are new to this platform talks about self-determination of the Yoruba people to exit the contraction in Nigeria to create Fuwa. Nigeria doesn't have a language. English Koikimedia language you are. If you go to France, they speak in French. If you go to Italy, they speak Italian. If you go to Germany, they speak German. Which language is Nigeria? English is not our language. Ede Yoruba ni ede tiwa. So, lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo wa tí ẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́tùn lósì. As you come in, share the program and tell somebody else that Yoruba people, which we have more than enough to set up our own country. The whole population of this country is 66 million as at 2019. The population of London is 8 million. It's not up to the population of Lagos State. The Welsh wants to exit UK. The population of Wales as of 2019 is 5 million. When you look at countries that have been dissolved from the Soviet Union, the reason why many Nigerians are stupid thinking that you want to save Nigeria. You cannot save Nigeria because your forefathers were unable to save Nigeria. If you look all the left and the right, you realize that what we are seeing today is what the agenda of what the British Empire created. Mukiyami Adebinkpe Awoniyi Gramawoni, these Oyimbos should leave us alone and the so-called leaders should not dance to their tune. Let me say this, the IMF, which is one of the criminal organizations, the United Nations, the World Bank, they are all part of those that do not want the better for Africa. How can we have vast amount of resources in Africa and yet we get aid from all these crazy countries that are giving us peanuts? Muki Baba Mibamidele, good morning to you and welcome once again to the platform. Keep your comment coming so that I can read it out. But in the next few minutes, I'll be ending this broadcast. But for now, I say good morning, Mr. Adebayo Okikiola Obina. Good morning to you. All hail Biafra, all hail the Hausa people, all hail the Middle Belt. Nigeria was designed for one purpose and one purpose only. There will never be unity among us. Even if you like, go and bring Peter Obi as the president, go and bring Atiku, bring Tinubu, bring Abacha, bring even the late Abacha back, bring even Babangida back. There will never be peace in Nigeria until the breakup and disintegration of the contraction known as Nigeria. Nigeria is not a country. Nigeria is a crime scene. Many of you that are trying to save Nigeria will perish, just like the Titanic perished under the ocean. So if you're one of those that have been deceived by the fraudulent 419 politicians in Nigeria, that it is going to work, you are wasting your time. Muki Mr. Gbadebo, good morning to you, my brother. It is well with you and your family in Jesus' name, just like it is well with you. Thank you so much, Mr. John. He said, I want to go back home, but there is no home because the home is now infiltrated by the Fulani terrorists that are moving around from every part of Nigeria trying to take our land. So for now, UK belongs to me, just like it belongs to all Africans, until we are able to go back to what it used to be before the 1884, I guess, Berlin Conference, where they keep Africa to themselves. The same way France killed most African countries by making sure that their central bank is operated in France. Can you imagine that? A country that doesn't have their central bank control, it is controlled by France. That is why when you see countries that are still using CFR, it is part of the crime scene that the French government have done to Africa. And that is why the Niger and most other Africans today are fighting back, because they are tired of the shenanigans that have been created. Oh, you're from Kenya. Yes. The Mau Mau people, you saw that when King Charles, God bless King Charles, when he went to Kenya, he said, I am not going to apologize for what my forefathers did in 1953, where over thousands of Kenyan citizens were killed, murdered brutally by the British during the fight for their independence away from the contraction that the British created in Kenya. So I understand your feeling that you want to go back to Kenya, but the problem is the system that was set up have destabilized the real indigenous people. So most people that are all over Africa today, you are not controlling that territory because it was destroyed, just like Ethiopia. We are always been one family until the European evil came on our territory and gave us religion and took away our culture, took away our tradition, and told us that we should read the Bible and read the Quran, and that has literally changed every part of Africa today. Africa was one system that works for everybody until they destroy us, and they are now telling us, go back to your country. Shut up, we're not going back to any of our country. This country belongs to us as well. We own this country as well. Mad people all over the place. So if any Oyinbo people tell you to go back to your country, tell them which country. This country belongs to us. UK belongs to me, just like they say to us that Nigeria belongs to them. Lugard was working for the British in 1913. He was brought all the way from Hong Kong. He was the governor administrator as at the time that Nigeria was merged together in 1914, January 1st. Today, Nigeria is 110 years old. Yoruba has been in existence 13,000 years before Nigeria. So are you telling me that we should save Nigeria and ditch away who we are? No, we are not going to do that. So let me say this again. We don't have any problem with the British citizen, but we have a problem with the British Empire that destroy exactly the indigenous people. We are not tribes, we are indigenous people. And as I come into my screen where I'm going to show my face before I go, I say thank you so much once again for joining us as we do. I got to catch the train because I have other things to do. And I'd like to appreciate us again as we always join this particular page. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, follow us. You can go on my website, www.koikimedia.com, where we talk about everything that relates to self-determination. It is our right to self-determination. Whether the international community wants that right or not, we will exhaust that right. If that right is not given to us, we should go and prepare for war to move ourselves from the freedom. Violence was used by the British to take away our land. Violence was used in Africa to take Africa. If peace is not given the chance, we will use violence to take what belongs to us. Violence is part of what is the game, and that is a fact. So if you're one of those that say, hey, we don't want violence, you are crazy. Church of England was using violence to remove people from Africa during the slave trade. For 300 years, it was part of the violence. So if they don't want violence, they should allow peace to reign so that the Yoruba people, the Biafra, the Arewa, the Middle Belt can all go their separate ways. We are not going to be the first country to break, and we are not going to be the last. The Scottish people wants to go. So, and they have the right to go. The Welsh people don't want to be. The IRA fought the British until there was what they call the Good Friday Agreement on 1997. So if you're one of those that say, hey, stop talking about violence. Violence has been used on people by the British colony for a very long time. We don't have to go through that route. But if that is going to be the route to free ourselves, because you cannot buy freedom from Tesco, neither can you buy it from Lidl. You have to fight to get yourself out of the enslaved, which a lot of us are doing today in UK. Even if you are doing a good job, you are still a slave. Your children are slaves until we free ourselves from the slave mentality. And on that note, I say, have a very good evening, good morning, because in China it's already midnight. In Australia it's already midnight. So there's different time zone. But right now it's just coming up to almost 9 o'clock, where people are making their way to work. You know, this is what we do. Walk, and pay bills. That was not a system that we have in Africa. Shout out to you all. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Mrs. Adebukolas, I pray that God will see us through. I support anything that can take us away from this deadly so-called Nigeria. Thank you so much, ma'am. And that is the fact. Nigeria is a very deadly place where it has become unbearable for many of our loved ones at home. We have feelings for you, but stop telling me you cannot sit in UK and break up with Nigeria. UK in 1957, 1958 deceived our forefathers into independence. The first election was rigged by the British in 1959. So if you're saying I should come back home, I don't have to come back home. We will deal with it from here until it reflects on the other side. Thank you so much. Bye for now.